Hello, friends. I'm so grateful to be here today. I hope you're doing okay. And once again, we're back to our series for the home care startups. And I want to welcome you to just take your time, take a pen and paper, and let's move on from here because I want to help you to know what you're getting yourself into. Okay. Hi, my name is Betty, and I am a burnout breaker. So if you are in a position where you are a CNA or a nurse and you're burnt out, but you also want to make money in this industry of healthcare and you have considered your home care services, I am asking you to come on board, come and watch the videos that I've had in the past, but also I am inviting you to a workshop that's going to be there from September 11th to September the 13th. I'm going to put the details in the group. On the other hand, if you're not able to make it, I'm always here for you. Please choose to subscribe to my channel and also hit the like button. And we can be having a conversation every week about home care and see how we can move from there. So again, my name is Betty. You are welcome to contact me. Let me know how I can help you. Don't feel stuck and quiet. So always be ready to, if you have questions, I am here for you. I always tell people, start when you're not ready. Because if you wait for that perfect time, it might never come. So if you feel right now in your heart that you need to try, go ahead and watch these videos. But if you want to work with me, I also do have provision for that. Just send me a message and let me know how I can help you. So the topic I wanted to talk about today was how to start home care, but I want to talk about costs. Okay, I want to talk more about costs because I think costs come up a lot when people are talking. Costs is one of the things that stops people from doing what they need to do. So here we're going to talk about initial costs because there are things you're going to consider when you are starting your home care. So those are the initial costs. So you have to understand that costs are crucial and they cover the necessary things that help you to start. Okay. So in the coming videos, we're going to talk about a few things you can do to start, just here and there that can help you start. But I want to tell you that you can start from where you are. I know I've had in the past where people dismiss themselves because they are CNAs and maybe they're working and getting minimum wage. But I want to encourage you from someone who was a CNA and I started saving up to be able to start this business. And it did not take me years, but I'll show you the trick because I have been there where you are right now and I have the know-how of how to get you out of that rat race. Okay. So I hope you have your pen and paper because we are going to have this conversation today. Now, number one, you have to do what you need to do is for licensing and permits. Okay. You need to have money for licensing and permits. Now, licensing and permits, these are, what can I say? They are different by state. Okay. They're different by state. So, for example, if you are starting a home care business in Texas, it will be like 2625 or 2675. I don't know if they've added, but I know it's above 2600, not more than 2700. That is just for the license, okay? So it varies by state. And there are other requirements too, because apart from the licensing, you also need to do administrator training. And the state, like here in Texas, the state does not provide you with the 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 bigger part of the training. There's the state training, which is just a few minutes. You just sit on your computer and do it. But there's another training that is compulsory that you must have, and that one is paid. And the state has different organizations that provide that class. Okay, so it's up to you to go through the state and choose the one that best fits you. However, if you're working with me and you're in Texas, I will give you a direct contact for one of the branches that I use, and they are very fairly priced. Remember, the state does not regulate how they charge. They charge, it's their business. They charge, they've just been given the platform to train, but they charge differently. So some of them can be very expensive and some can be, cheap. Maybe not very cheap, but they're cheaper than those expensive ones, right? So if you're working with me, I can be able to give you the direct contacts for the agency that we use for the testing for administrators. And that one has to be there because when you're applying for your license, I'm talking now to the people in Texas. When you're applying for your license, you must attach that proof that you did that test. You did the test on their website, plus you did the test on the one that you pay, okay? And then any other legal formation, especially the business formation. Before you go to licensing, you have to do your business formation. If you're going to do an LLC or corporation to protect your personal assets. So you have to make sure what you're going through. Now, with this LLC one, unless you know how to do it, if you don't know how to do it, please contact your local CPA for them to help you to know which structure best fits you. I am not a CPA, but I can direct you to a CPA that can help you with that setup if you would like, okay? On the other hand, you can choose to do it on your own, but if you miss something, that prolongs your wait, okay? And then also, if you go online, you're able to see the instructions. It will take time. You would have to go through the instructions by yourself, but also you'll make it, but it might be longer, but you will make it. But make sure you choose the correct structure. And the best I can tell you briefly, like don't choose like a sole proprietor for this business. Okay, don't choose a sole proprietor for this business. Choose an LLC or a corporation. Then another expense you're going to have is insurance essentials. You must obtain insurance. Insurance is not an option. It doesn't matter which state you are in, okay? Insurance is not an option. That's the general insurance, and then your professional liability insurance, okay? So your professional liability insurance, that is not an option. That one you have to have. Then when you get those insurances, you also have to consider which state you are in, because some states will require to have insurance, the general and professional liability, workers' comp insurance, and also, you have to safeguard yourself and safeguard your company against any risks. So you must be able to have those costs, consider those initial costs. Those are what I call initial costs, okay? So now once you've had your business set up, you started working on your licensing, you're getting your insurance. Oh, and some states will require you to be bonded, okay? So you have to be sure you're checking if your state requires you to be bonded or if it doesn't require you to be bonded. So you have to be very, very clear on that, okay? The other thing is your operation setup. Choosing the right operational setup is very critical, especially in home care. Every state has different requirements. Some states will allow you can start from home, a business from home. Some states will not, will be like you have to have an office. So you have to always check to see, like, does my state require me to have an office, or can I start my home care from home? So those are things you have to look at, okay? The cost is different for everyone and it will vary and then you have to make sure you're doing things cost efficiently. You're doing your services of quality, but you have to decide depending on your state. Do you need a home office? Or do you have a commercial space, or do you have someone you can rent a commercial space from? Remember, some states will not agree to you to have the virtual offices. You know, some people can have home office, but they have somewhere where the mails go to. Especially in home care, they might not. You have to be very, very sure because they have to have a physical address. So you have to be sure where you're sending people. Okay. So when you think about the office setup, you think about the benefits of having an office versus the benefits of having a commercial space to rent. So if you really don't have to have a commercial space to rent, I would suggest start from the office. Once you make money, then go onto the commercial space. You have to consider all the equipment in the office that is needed, because in the office, whether you have a home office or not, you have to have supplies. Okay. You have to have marketing essentials, you have to have the state requirements, like for the wages. There's a lot of things you have to do in the office setup. I do help people with this. I do help people who want to start their home care with this. I do have a program where I walk you through for 90 days. We walk through your business, and within 90 days, you're able to come up and you're up, you're launching and you're going. Okay. So those are some of the things. Operational costs can also include things like scheduling system or the client management system. That one is not an option. You have to be able to secure your information, and the client's information, and you have to be able to schedule. You have to be able to do assessments and store them. Now we are moved into the era where even if you have a cabinet where you're storing your paperwork, you also need software in the cloud somewhere where you're saving your paperwork in case you lose one or the other. Okay. Then when it comes to marketing essentials, I hope you're writing this down, because we've talked about startup, the business side of it. Now we are on operations. In the operations, another thing you need, okay, operations, we talked about the office space. We've talked about the client management system and the staff management system. Then we talked about marketing essentials. So you need a website, you need a logo, you need launch campaigns, you need to create strong brand presence for the market so that the market can get to know you. Okay. So it's not just about starting a home care where you do an LLC and you're up and running. No, you have to be able to set yourself up in a way that people get to see you out there and people get to know you. Number 3 is staffing costs. Now, in home care, by my experience, staffing is where it costs the most. Okay. Staffing costs the most. From my experience, staffing costs the most. Okay. So those are things you have to consider. Let me reboot this here for the people on the other channel. Staffing costs are the most payments that you will make. That is from my experience. So understanding the staffing costs and the training costs that come along with the home care startup budget, that is very critical. It can be your win or it can be your loss, okay? Because you have to recruit, you have to train, you have to ensure competitive, you have to do background checks, you have to do drug testing, you have to do all that. So first of all, getting the staff in is expensive. Then maintaining the staff too is also expensive. But you have to have a plan. If you work with me, we go through all that, what you can do to have a plan. But here's just a rundown of what you can think about while you're in this process. Your recruitment costs. Effective recruitment involves advertising. Advertising is not free. Unless you're advertising on Facebook, but you don't know how many people will get there. You need background checks, like I said, you need drug testing and qualified caregivers. Okay. Then you need training. You need to train them. That's a cost, because when they're in training, you're paying them. Okay. When they're in training, you're paying them. So you need to have that money to pay them before they start seeing patients. Okay. You need to pay them and have them set up. Then you have to consider payroll. Payroll is the most expensive part, I think, because you have to think about the salary. Your salary has to be competitive, salary or wage, whatever you want to call it. Then there's taxes, there's state taxes and there's federal taxes, okay? Then you have to also consider, is this person going to work overtime? So when I think about it, apart from the business setup, you need to have money aside for staffing, because once you get your license, you might get a client immediately and then you want to see the client, okay? So when you're in that situation that you have a client and they want to see the client, then what you're going to do is be in a position to staff that client, but you have money in the account that is waiting, okay? You have money in the account that is waiting. Then so those are the things to think about. Then you have to think about unexpected costs. Unexpected costs, they don't really come often, but sometimes you might want to have an unexpected cost, maybe like professional services. Maybe you need a CPA, maybe you need a legal expert, maybe you need a HR expert. Then they're paid. You have to have money to pay them because they're not going to provide the services for you for free, okay? Then you will also need emergency fund. That's a buffer for unforeseen delays. For whatever reason, maybe if you're using another company to give you referrals and they pay you after your work is done, maybe they said it's a net 30 and it's already net 60 and they haven't replied. Those 30 days, you have to have a backup plan. So those are the unforeseen expenses that you will need, okay? Continuous education is a requirement. You have to keep doing continuous education for yourself and for the caregivers too. So for you to be able to move from one step to another as a beginner, it's very, very important. You have to be able to future-proof your organization. You do your organization the justice that it needs to be able to move forward. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush. Just take your time. Again, I want to say my name is Betty and I am a burnout breaker. I am also a home care coach and a startup coach, a home care startup coach. If you want to move from idea to launch, you're welcome to connect with me. I do have a workshop coming up for 3 days, September 11th to September 13th. The link is going to be in this description here. And also another thing I ask you to do is to remember to subscribe and also put the notification button on. And once you do that, you'll be able to know when I come up live. I plan to do this a lot regularly, and I hope that you are going to be here with me. I pray that you have a good day and a blessed day and keep on doing what you need to do for everybody. Just keep on doing what you need to do just to make it happen. If you want me to help you make it happen, reach out to me. Thank you. Have a good day.